live, we live, we live, we live, we live. We want to thank everybody for coming on to Speak On It podcast. We do it every Thursday, Central Time, 7:30 Central Time. We want to thank everybody for coming on, man. We're on Instagram right now. Walking on Instagram right now. And the title is, how much do your mate's past matter when choosing a life partner? How much does that person or that individual past matter in choosing a life partner? We're going to talk about it tonight. Man. We hope everybody coming on. Man. We want to thank everybody for coming on to the Speak On It podcast. As we get everybody on, just want to thank everybody. Man, we've been doing this for over a year and a half, man, and we're still rolling. We're going to keep building the audience. We're going to build this audience on Instagram. We want the whole world to see Speak On The podcast with myself, Phantom J, DJ Black, and J Austin. That's what we're doing. We're going to talk about it. So we appreciate y'all. Yes. Getting everything set up, ready to go. Yes. Hope everybody tuning in. We're gonna wait for everybody to tune in. We live. That's what we're doing. Facebook, what's going on? Instagram, we live on Instagram. We live on Facebook right now, man. We want to thank everybody for coming on and tuning in with us today. This is Speak On It podcast. Man, I'm live and I'm in Atlanta right now, taking care of some business, visiting some friends, just getting out the house, man. We're going to be outside 2023. We want to thank everybody for being a part of this and being a part of our podcast, and those that's coming on. We want to thank you. We're live on Instagram right now on Speak On It 100. Speak On It 100, man. You see Speak On It 100? Subscribe so you can get all the notifications of our lives. Man, we want to thank everybody for that tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about, on our podcast, we're going to talk about, and it's going to be a real one. It's going to be a doozy. And we talking about how much should your mate's past matter when choosing a life partner. We're gonna deal and delve in that, and we're gonna dive on that tonight. First of all, we're gonna get to the news. Man, one thing I was reading about Flo Rida. Flo Rida is a rap artist from Florida. Flo Rida is an individual, man. This man has made some real money in the rap game. Flo Rida is currently $40 million net wealth. Now, what have happened now is that Flo Rida has been awarded an $82.6 million lawsuit against Celsius Energy Drink. It says Flo Rida sued Baccarat-based company in May 2021 for breach of contract after they failed to meet the conditions of an endorsement deal with him. And what happened is said hip hop artist Flo Rida, whose real name was Tamar Dillon, was awarded $82.6 million by a South Florida jury on Wednesday after he won a lawsuit against Celsius Drinks. He said Dillon and his production company, Strong Arm Production, sued Baccarat-based Celsius Holdings Incorporated in Broward County in May 2021 after claiming the company breached his contract. The rapper and the singer said that the company did not follow through with conditions stated in an endorsement deal. Said basically, I helped birth the company, and with all we were looking at for was some trustworthy people. People who act as if they were family. Dillard told the Associate Press, and when it comes down to the success today, they forgot about him. So This man, he doing his thing. Man, he making some stuff happen. And he making some stuff shake, man. So he got 82.6 million dollar lawsuit on top of his net worth of 40 million. So that's gonna get him over $100 million mark as far as his net worth and his holdings, man. So we still dealing with Gunner. Gunner, it says the court screwed Gunner. Now he's being shunned by his peers. We all know in the street, man. We all know about Gunner being part of YSL, Young Slime Life. Um, we seen on tape that Gunner admitted that Young Slime Life was a record label and a gang, and he said it out of his mouth. He was saying that he was making it clear that he wasn't going to testify, but the streets say different. So in the streets saying different, they saying that Gunner's a snitch. So you had rap artists, man, that really have unfollowed Gunner. Um, in um, in the rap world, you got Meek Mills, he unfollowed him. Lil Baby unfollowed him. Um, Lil Baby unfollowed him. And did all of that. Because in that world, man, really in that world, we know that's a world that you don't snitch. We know that's a world where once you get involved in that type of world, man, you know snitching. I know when I was coming up, it says snitching get you stitches. Snitches get stitches. And we knew that what happened with snitches. And though the attorney is saying that Gunner is not going to testify, he can waive his Fifth Amendment right. That don't mean that he's free from testifying. It just means that he's not going to testify against himself to incriminate himself. And that was the deal. Now he was looking at a 5-year sentence in this case, so he didn't want to risk that in order to get home. He went on ahead and did those 5 years. I'm gonna tell this, and I'm gonna say this, and this is real. Dealing with me as an individual, that if I'm into some criminal activity, if I'm knowingly into some criminal activity with somebody, and I know the consequences of those criminal activities, either one or two things when you dealing in crime, especially if you're dealing with drugs, you dealing with that thing in the evening, that you can either go to prison or you're gonna die. Either or. Because if you snitch, it's like you really dead because people are not gonna deal with you anymore. So if I know that I'm into some criminal activity with somebody, I gotta walk that time because that's the life I chose. Now, if I chose that life and dealt in that life, then so be it. But to save my behind, knowing that I engaged in criminal activities with these individuals, that's something different. Now, you got individuals that are saying, well, what about if you see a person killing a child, trying to kidnap a child? Is that snitching? That's different. That's you protecting that child. That's you protecting the individual. So you being in that particular world as a regular citizen, those rules don't apply. But when you know that you engaged in criminal activity and you know the circumstances of that criminal activity is you uh is you as an individual going to prison or dying, and you engage in that and you turn your heels, we already know the penalty. When I was coming up, snitches got killed straight up. I don't know what they doing now. 6ix9ine, they was on 6ix9ine about snitching, and he admitted he did. But right now, Gunna is not saying that, man, and that's a hard pill to swallow. So we're gonna keep following that story, man. And we just backtracking the Flow Rider. It's just an unfortunate deal of what's happening, man. Tonight we're gonna deal with these individuals, man. With the mates, you got to ask the question: is it important for you as an individual uh, to know a person's past? Is it important? Is it important for you as an individual? Will you be affected by a person's past? I think knowing a person's past is important because if you're going to be a life partner with this person and you're going to deal with this person in your life, you got to know a person's mental state. Now, knowing a person's past is not always dealing sexually, but knowing a person's past is this person, do this person has mental issues? Have this person had experience in raising a family? Have this person been married? Have this person been divorced? And if so, how many times? Does this person have illness run through his family? So knowing that a person is not always dealing with body count, we dealing with the proper way of really choosing a mate. Now, all of us is true that all of us we are chips off the same block. Each and every one of us, we running from each other, and this don't go right in the relationship. We're in the next relationship. That's happening in a relationship, and we're not really understanding that we chips off the same block, and all of us have some type of issues in our life that may be different from others. So we got to choose as individuals really to decide who we're gonna settle down with, because we know that relationships are a struggle. We know that relationships is about you putting away your ego. Black, what's going on, man?
What's happening with you? What you
Man,
got going?
I'm chilling, man. Up here, getting into it, getting to it. Hold on. Yeah. So I got you. Hold on. Is it spinning?
Yeah.
Okay. It should let it do. All right. Yeah, we good. Okay. All right, cool. But but yeah, so we just dealing with the issue and the subject at hand, of what we talking about choosing a mate, and is that mate um past, does it matter? And
So we done
we all
already went through the news.
went through the news, and I talked about Flow Rider. We dealt with Flow Rider. Flow Rider won eight 82.6 million dollar lawsuit with a company, and he won against a energy company called Celsius. 82.6 million dollars with that company, and they got to pay up. The man is already worth 40 million, so that's another add 82.6 million onto his repertoire and his net worth. So he doing
Okay.
it. Cut with
So
Gunner,
he
man.
winning.
Yeah, he won the case. This case was filed against the Baccarat Company back in May of 2021. They filed the case on him, and he won this case. And they didn't. It was, I think, it was an endorsement deal, because Flow Rider used to be. I know he used to do music with T Pain and all those Florida artists. So I know that he did that from time to time, and so he did that. Now, but quietly he been doing his net worth, man. His net worth been blowing up. You ain't really been seeing Flow Rider winning Grammys, but Flow Rider really been making some money, man. And I seen that Flow Rider, his net worth is at 40 million right now, and that's heavy.
40 million.
40 million.
Shit,
40
that's what's up.
Yeah, so he doing his thing. So he doing his thing, man. So uh, dealing with Gunna, it's a lot of artists, man. Meeting them, unfollowed them. Um, uh, Little Baby unfollowed them, and they were friends. They came up together. And I was just talking about how, the code is. They was dealing. He was only dealing with a 5-year stint, but they did a suspended sentence on him, and let him, put him on probation. And yeah, he's not going to testify, but that's against himself. But if they call him to testify against um, others, then he gonna have to do that because he's obligated. That's a part of the deal. So that's
He
what's
basically
going on
sold
with
his
that.
soul, though, to be honest.
He sold his soul. He sold his soul for a little 5 year stint in the feds.
Yeah. Sold his
You know.
soul, killed his career,
Yeah.
you know,
He can't
so
really do anything. He can't do nothing. Nobody ain't gonna respect pushing P no more with it. And it ain't that's not something that we just speculating. It's just how the code of the streets is. Now when me and you talked about dealing with a baby getting killed, seeing somebody getting hurt, different things of that nature, that's something different when you're dealing in your community. If I see your child, somebody trying to hurt your
right.
child, give a description of the man, that's something different. But when you in a world that a lot of the artists in the rap world have been or in, you got to know what you're getting into. You know what I'm saying?
Shout
And
it low.
you got to deal with the
Right.
consequences that come with it. So and that's what we got to deal with as individuals is, man, we got to know what we dealing with, and are we willing to face any of the consequences that come with claiming that we hard and we gangsters and we street artists. So we gotta know if that's something that we really want to do. And right now, this man, I don't want to be in that man's shoes. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
no.
I know
And this just the beginning.
that's a hard thing. Yeah, I know that. I know I don't want to be in that man's shoes, and that's happening to him. That I done sold my soul. You know what I'm saying? To get freedom. When I could have walked five
Right.
years because I know I was a part of this and I know what it is. And then I admitted that not only is YSL a record label, but I admitted that it's a game and it's on tape and 6ix9ine trolling. So 6ix9ine
But
took
when you're not built like that,
yeah,
when you're not built like that, man, them
right,
cats, they just rapping. And then
right,
them wanting to use Young Thug's lyrics in court, I think that's asinine. I mean,
right,
I don't get it. I mean,
right,
they're just like that's just like you pinning an actor for playing a gay role and you
right,
say he's gay in real life.
right,
That shouldn't even, have nothing to do with it.
right.
They're
That's
just
right.
rapping.
That's right. That's
Unless he
right.
put the rappers that he killed or whatever name in the verse
Right.
and and then describe the scene to a T. I just feel like that shouldn't be that should be thrown out. Just like when
That
Snoop
shouldn't be
did his
applied.
case years ago,
Right.
they uh they threw the lyric thing out when it came to Snoop, and they also threw it out when it came to Boosie. So
Right.
I don't
Right.
see why they trying to make it stick when it comes to Gunna and his. I mean, when it comes to Young Thug, and his attorney needs to be fighting that because
Yeah, and they
that shouldn't be used.
yeah, and they had some issues
They
with
don't
Young
have
Thug.
the point is they don't really have anything on Young Thug physically,
Right.
so they're trying everything to try to get him. They like grasping for straws to find something, like you throwing spaghetti up against Flamica, trying to get it to stick. So they trying to
Right.
find anything to make it stick
Right.
on him, and they can't find nothing. So okay, let's use his lyrics. But no, that I don't. I feel like the attorney gonna find a way to get that thrown out, just like he been
Right.
getting so many other things, the illegal search and all that. His attorney, Young Thug's attorney, ain't no punk,
Right.
and it's gonna be a good one. And then I still think it may end up being a hung jury because they're having problems selecting the jury right now.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
if it is a hung jury, that means that Gunna, his brother, and all the other people sold their souls for nothing. And then we never know what's gonna happen to them
Right.
if Young Thug get out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If
Right.
he if
Right.
he if he go free, how
Right.
long will they live?
Right.
We don't know.
Or it could just be, man, he do nothing and then their reputation just ruined. It's just you can't come around me no more. And that's basically what's happening with that, man, is that they're not gonna be able to come around Young Thug no more. I would be embarrassed because of what I did for freedom. And I should have just looked at, man, okay, you give me 5 years, I can walk these 5 years. Harry O, who helped started up Death Row Records. Harry O got jammed up with the dope. He helped finance Death Row Records. He got jammed up with the dope. And Harry O said, I spend my time in prison before I go out on the streets like a rat. And he spent 30
Yeah, and
years
Harry, you're
before he went
old
to prison.
school too. He old
Yeah,
school.
he old
You
school.
dealing with this
So he
new breed.
understand the
The
principle.
new
Yeah,
breed
he
is not
understand
built
principle.
like those 80s and 90 babies. They not
Right,
built like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Well, no, I
right,
take that back. The 70 and 80 babies, those 90 babies is not built like them.
right,
So
right,
it's
right,
not the same. It's not the
right,
same.
right,
So
right.
the blood don't flow the same. The mentality
No,
not
it
the
don't.
same.
No, it don't. Man, and old
You got
Kanye, he didn't
people,
got mad. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, you finished. Go ahead and
I say you
finish your
got
point.
people who brothers, who a brother or something get killed, and this new breed don't do nothing about it.
Right.
Those 70 and 80 babies, that family getting dealt with that did that. You know what I'm saying? So they not built the same. So I don't know what's to come of this new generation, man. It's out there. Now you
Man,
say Crazy Ye did what?
man, old Kanye,
Crazy
uh,
Ye.
man, Kanye is he done got married again to one of the Yeezy designers. So he done got married. I don't know if it's strategic that he did, but he did. He got
He,
married.
he married her to keep his
Me,
network,
you
to
think so?
add to his network.
Because her name is Bianca Quincero.
What's her
Uh,
network?
Bianca
Google her
Quincero.
network for me.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, but because she's a designer for Yeezy.
What is she worth?
Let me check and see if she worth anything. But uh
I mean, that man losing everything. Then he just got sued for a
$2 million.
sample.
Yeah, but I mean these is $300,000 there, $300,000 here. So it ain't like he gonna run out of $400 million. He got at least that. He got $100 million in cash.
Shit. Hey, as much
Yeah,
as shit popping him up against his head,
yeah.
they
It
after him
could
for
it could
some
happen.
reason. He done pissed the powers that be off.
Yeah,
He done
the
pissed
upper
the
the
powers that be
higher
off.
ups.
They after his head, big man.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
higher ups
yeah, they
done got
after
him.
his head.
The higher ups done got him, bro. So but yeah, that's basically what we got going on in the news, folks. Instagram, what's going on, man? We pressing, man, and we live on Instagram right now, and we just
Shout
want to
out to
thank everybody.
Shawty Low
Yeah,
and and Freshonda.
right,
They on the Instagram.
right, right,
We
right,
got
right.
Latanya in the house, I guess,
Yes,
on the topic.
right,
What's the topic? Should your past matter?
right. Should your
Now, a
past
lot of
matter?
people think when I say past, I'm talking about your sexual past. It's deeper than that. I'm saying past, period.
Right, right,
A lot of people shouldn't want to know the body counts per se. But if I'm around somebody and she's been sexually active with a partner, co-worker, or somebody who come around my house on a regular basis, when it comes to the sex, I want to know that. But
right.
um, we're talking on a whole, as a whole, should your mate, the person that you considering marrying, considering having children with, should that should your past be discussed? Should it be an issue? Is it important?
Right, 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 right. I think, man, that it's important. Um, in the aspect of this person, individual, we could deal with mental health. We could deal with illnesses. What runs through your family? How do you deal with stress? How you deal in a relationship? Um, and a lot of times we love people and we want to ignore the red flag sometime and try to give that person a chance. But when life kind of beats you and try to get at you, you know, that could be hard sometimes. And um, pressure can manifest a lot inside of it in a human being. Jay, I see you on Instagram. Jay, I see you. I see you. What up? What up? What up? So that can manifest a lot in the individual. Could that person handle stress? Could that person handle just being dealt with on that? Hey Jay, did we send you the link down there to the stream yard? Oh, okay then. Okay, all right, got you. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at because in truth, just to keep it real with you, people that had sex before you, we don't know what you done with the person you dealing with, what they done in the bedroom. Uh, so for us to judge an individual based on their past, in that respect, that's not fair. So because uh, all of us would be uh, guilty of some of the things that we done did in our lifetime. So we don't want to open up no closet like that. But if you got psychological issues, you got any type of issue that can affect a relationship, then that's need to be something that be.
I mean,
do you know how to
even on the sexual
manage
level, if they not if they don't
compatible
want
with
you to
you?
know your past on a sexual level, somebody gonna tell it. That's one of
Right.
those like they said when I posted it earlier. Um, that's one of those was done in the dark or come to the light. So uh, it's gonna eventually get found out um who you are as far
Right.
as the sexual level.
Right. 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 That's right. That's right. That's true. That's true. Um.
But when it comes to purchasing homes, getting loans, you need to know if that's going to be your lifetime partner,
Right.
what where you benefit.
Right.
Um,
Right.
are they in bankruptcy? Are they a felon? I mean, there's just certain things that I just feel like you kind of need to know.
Right. Right.
There's certain things they don't need to know, and there's certain things they need to know. So,
Right.
um,
Jay,
when you're
what's up,
talking
man? We
long
got you
term,
on. Yeah. 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 When you talking long term, that. So, do you think psychological issues, or you think individuals just not gonna come on and just admit, or is that something that you watch out for? Is psychological issues? Because people
it's
are
just rarely
killing mates.
they not because I know me, I'm not quick to
Right.
I'm not quick to lay out my cards on the table when I meet someone.
Right.
So you pretty much I have to pretty much get to know you before I start telling a lot. But if we're talking marriage, that means we've been together for a minute. And
Right.
at some point, those questions need to come up. Or as you meet the family members, you will learn if it's dementia in the family. How many people um has mental
Just
issues.
yeah, dealing with depression. Just how they
Right.
handle problems. Jay, what you thinking on that, man? Do you think it's important for you as an individual to know a person's mental state when you deal in a relationship with someone?
Yeah, I do. Somebody we getting a lot of feedback, a lot of echoing. So I
Yeah.
don't know if somebody has their computer open while they're on the other site, but we get a lot of echoing. But yeah, it is important
Right.
because you have to identify what you're dealing with when you get into a long term relationship.
Right.
So it's important to know, their family history there. I mean, because you might be marrying your cousin, you never know,
Right. 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 Right.
or your brother, because from a small town, you don't know. So
Right.
it's important to know the background on that person, um, even in fact, even diseases. Now, those type of things, because those things affect their health and probably could affect your health. If someone has herpes or been exposed to AIDS or anything of that nature, that information needs to come out.
Right.
And you have to make a determination if that's something that you want to deal with. And then even with kids that may not be in the picture physically, but but they're around or there, they need to know how many kids that you have, that you father, or that you mothered, whatever.
Right.
So those things are important because those things can come back, and you never know what's going to come back. And so you need to put that stuff out there.
Right. Latanya, how you doing? How important do you think it is to know a person's past as far as their mental health, how they take care of bills, how they deal in stressful situations? How you feel about that?
That is very important. Because if you want to build with someone, you want to know all of those things. Like Black say, are they in bankruptcy? Because that's a part of building. What type of person are they? What do they like? What do they dislike? You need to know all of those things. Because there are triggers that trigger some people, and you really need to know those triggers.
Right. Do you all think counseling is important? Black, do you think counseling is important, or any of y'all experience going to counseling or in counseling with your mate?
Counseling, but you answer that. You want me to go?
In health, I think it is important to just to ensure that your mental maintenance is kept up.
Right.
It's not necessarily that you have to have an issue or a problem to go to counseling, but there may be some things that you need to discuss, or that you need a third party to listen to.
Right.
Someone to bounce some ideas off of, or whatever. So I think counseling is very important.
Right. Latanya, what you thinking on the counseling part, or how would you approach it? Dealing with somebody you love and you wanna address that. What about the counseling part? Do people feel squirmish about that?
And now, when I say this, I'm speaking for self. This is my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Counseling is just not for me, because I feel like I feel like I can sit down and talk with you, and we can talk about what's going on. We can fix this ourselves. That's how I feel.
Right.
But that's not for everybody. Some people would rather prefer to have that third person because they can give them some different insight. But some people has had where they've had all kinds of mistakes coming up. We learn from it, and we know now, at the age we are, as much as we've gone through, now I know how to do this. I can do the communication and counseling myself with whoever I'm with. We can sit down and talk to people.
Right. That's real. Black, what do you think about counseling? Do you think that's important?
I'm kind of like Latanya. I feel like don't nobody know you more than you know you.
Right.
So I mean, sometimes talking to someone else that's a neutral party can help resolve issues. But you deep down, you know where you messed up at. The person you date know where they messed up. It is not that complicated to be in a relationship.
Right.
Respect and do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So do unto your mate as you want your mate to do unto you. And if that mate just don't want to do that, they just don't want to do that. Sitting, paying all that money for a damn counselor to tell you something you already know. I just feel like, to me, it's a waste of money. But like she said, it's just my personal experience. But if we can't resolve it, and the wife or vice versa say, well, let's go to counseling, we can go half on the counsel deal, and I'll sit in there and listen for a second. You know what I'm saying? But me just going saying, hey, we need counseling because we can't figure this out. Hell, you know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. And no, I just feel like common sense. So I agree with Tanya, but I also don't 100% disagree with just my opinion. But yeah, I mean, to each his own. But I just feel like I rather try to work it out at home first, because I know where I know what I'm wrong. She know where she's wrong.
Right,
well, I mean, and sometimes it's not even about that. It's about having the tools, and sometimes people don't have those tools to work through certain things. So provide people with those tools to be able to work through certain situations or certain issues or certain concerns, then sometimes counseling is necessary.
We didn't say it was not necessary. It's just for certain people, it may not be.
Yeah, it's certain
That's
people.
the thing.
I don't feel like I'm that 100% bad where I just need to go to counseling. I know. I mean, I know where I'm wrong at. I know my messed up points in the relationship. I know where I'm difficult at in the relationship. And if you and your mate take that time to say, hey, I was wrong when I done this, and yeah, you're right, I should consider your feelings when it comes to that. I just feel like, but if you got that money to waste, you know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say wait, but if you got that money to just get to somebody to listen to your problems and tell you something that your mom, your best friends, your cousins, you get 4 or 5 different opinions. I feel like free opinions, and I think a lot of times that calm it down, because none of us know everything, but everybody want to be right. So a lot of times I'll say, well, let's call this person. Then you just pick a neutral person that like both of you all, or a neutral person that don't know too much or nothing about neither one of y'all. And you just somebody mature and that's been married for 20 years plus. And then you go in there and you say, hey, he did such and such, and then I said such and such, or she did such and such, and then I said such and such, then I did this, and let that person say, well, hey, this is what you need to. So spending all that money on counseling, I personally wouldn't do it. But if the wife insisted, we'll go half on that bill, and I'll sit in there a time or two, but I don't feel like I need it.
Oh, that's what's up. We Instagram. We want to thank everybody that's coming on Instagram. Jake, King Luke. We got Shouty Load, Fresh, Honda.
Freshonda.
Freshonda. Yeah, Freshonda. Sorry about that. I don't want to butcher your name. 89D Waters 90. Man, we appreciate y'all for coming on. Let me ask this. You in a relationship with somebody and you find out this person's reputation. Y'all got houses, things of that nature. Y'all in a relationship and you find out a person's reputation was kind of out there, but y'all in love. And it's a salacious reputation. How do y'all handle if your mate had a salacious reputation in the streets, when they was for the streets, or they call them and they was in a certain phase in their life? How would you handle that, knowing that this person has a salacious relationship?
Honestly, I would like to hear your take on it.
My take on it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I mean, if you got an individual with a salacious relationship, because I didn't dealt with a woman with a salacious relationship. A lot of times when you're dealing with individuals that didn't had some bodies, they find it a lot of times difficult to bond with you. They find it difficult, and from my experience, I can't speak for everybody else, but just to be with an individual that didn't have a lot of partners, that can pose a serious problem, not just having the knowledge of it, but on that other person's end, that she may not be used to being in a committed relationship, and she may struggle at it.
I'm sorry. Can someone please mute the phone?
Jay, I think I can. If somebody clacking. Hold on.
And we still getting feedback from the Facebook or something.
Okay, so this was going on. Black, we getting feedback from Instagram.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, everybody hit their mutes on Instagram.
Okay.
Turn your mics off on Instagram.
All right.
And the one out of us that's talking, turn the mic on. If we're not speaking, turn the mic off.
Yeah, sound better. Yeah, that sound better.
Okay, let's try that.
Thank you, Jay.
Is that better, Latanya?
Yes, somebody sound like they was moving around in the kitchen or moving something around.
Move around in the background. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, but just dealing with that, some people can handle it, some people can't. I was trying to punch through it, but it didn't work for me. And I learned from that experience is that you can't really.
It's back echoing.
Yeah, this is not on my end now. But
hey, Austin, your mic muted. Austin on Instagram.
Yeah, he is muted. I'm just gonna mute him on.
Not you. I'm talking about Austin on Instagram.
Yeah, it's muted on Instagram. He good. Yeah, he good. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so that's my take on it.
So you say you could deal with it.
It'll be because I've dealt with it and I know what it brings. Sometimes individuals, they just not committed. They don't want to settle down. They want to keep doing the things they do. They just feel that you're a good person, but they got so much other stuff going on. They probably got you looking at person that don't have a singleness of heart. Some people, they get into relationships and they not over the last person that they were with. They just going with you for a rebound. They going with you because they don't want to be alone. And it just take one opportunity a lot of times for the person that broke up with them or they broke up with is to talk to them right. And then they going back to that person telling you, I'm sorry, you're a good guy or good girl. Hey, I'm going back to this person and we don't really understand, even if we did all the right things. So, being in a relationship and being with a lot of people and having that type of experience can have an effect on you. It can be positive or negative. On the flip side, you can deal with also if you have an experience. If you want to deal with a person that has a lot of partners, they probably had the ability to please you because they had experience with a lot of partners. So it can hold either or. So what's your take on it, Black? Dealing if you dealing with a person, you in there for 3 or 4 years, and you find out this person got a salacious relationship with someone, how would you deal with it?
I mean, after 3 or 4 years, I kind of should know, but I don't know, because I have, like I said on the early podcast, I have a very vivid imagination. So I prefer not to really hear it. Right. Because if I do, because of my vivid imagination, I lose interest.
Right.
And the fact that I never had a problem, I say, getting females, I wouldn't have a problem really letting them go per se. Because if they don't turn me on, if that's a turn off, if she been having trains ran on her, she just been a passed around, slut. And I find that out, and then I start seeing some of the people that she was with. I think I would lose interest.
Do her teenage years? Do the teenage years count?
I don't want to know about none of the years.
Okay.
But the teenage years, I could probably erase the teenage years because we always, doing whatever.
Doing great.
But when you're 25 plus, I can't. I have to hold you accountable for your bodies. So, if you was 23, 22, 23, and you out there screwing the football team, and your man's dad or your man's brothers and cousins and friends, I can't deal with you. So I'm straight on that, and
Right.
I got no problem exiting out that relationship and finding someone less experienced, I guess I should say.
Right.
That's just me.
Right.
So
right.
no, I couldn't. I don't want to know about it.
Got you.
Austin.
Austin, do you want to know about an individual's past?
Wait a minute.
I got you. I
Okay.
unmuted you. Yeah, you good.
Hold on.
Okay, you can hear me now though, right, Austin? Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
All right. So here's my take. This is where counseling comes in. It provides you the tools to assist you in trying to deal with that relationship. So if you choose to stay in it,
Right.
but you already know what it is that you want to do in that relationship. If you are like me, I can only speak for me. Teenage years count for me.
Right.
All the years count for me.
Right.
So in most cases, I'm not going to stay in that relationship.
Okay.
Because it would be hard for me. And like Black said, we kind of think alike on a few things.
Right.
And my mental, I had this very strong mental thing that goes on, and I can imagine, those things, even though it shouldn't matter.
Right.
It does to me.
Okay, but we think alike, a lot alike. I know you want to separate because I say some hellified shit. But on the cool, teenage years, man, I'm talking like when we say teenage, we talking about, I'm gonna say the things we did in junior high, man. We ain't talking about college. I'm talking about junior high should matter.
Hey, to me it does.
Junior
I'm
high.
gonna chime in on this one. I mean,
Okay.
young, we all make mistakes when we're young. You can't fault someone for what you were not even part of that past. You didn't have anything to do with it. Now, if they're gonna talk to you about it, okay, fine, but don't charge them for that. Young, a lot of people make mistakes when they're younger. You cannot, well, you should not charge that person for what happened in the past because that person has grown. Right. And sometimes, they don't want to talk about it, but they feel they with you. You got them comfortable enough to talk about it, but then you wouldn't want them. They could be better now. You don't even give them that chance.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I give them the chance to grow with somebody else.
But
like they say, to each his own.
Like I say, that's why I say when they in their 20s and they know what the hell they doing, I can't condone that. But high school, junior high, and and I give you maybe the first 2 years of college. But because a lot of females I know went astray when they went to college. They was on their own. They finally got away from the house. They by themselves, and man, they went buck wild. I'm talking about they experienced trying to be gay. They had trains ran on them. They they just did their thing. They was just doing whatever. So the college, early college. So that's why I say around 24, 25, you got some sense. So at 24, 25, you old enough to know right from wrong. So at 24, 25, you out there hoeing and sleeping with everybody and one night stands, screwing club owners, screwing all the DJs, screwing all the dope boys. That's a zero in my book. That's a zero because you old enough and you know better. You know what I'm saying? So you doing what you want to do, and then I don't want to get in that relationship with you, and you stacked all these bodies, and I DJ, So hell, I'm going to the club, and you just screwed the club owner and the previous DJ and the accountant at the club. So now I didn't see. I'm saying this because I know people who've done that, and I know guys who tried to be in relationships with that. And when they come to the door and the club owner sitting there and he giving her a certain look, and it just I've seen it. And then they get into it at the club, the club owner taking her home, all that. I ain't with it,
Right.
24, 25, hell, you know better.
Yeah. Tommaso said it all depends on how much hell she already caused. What if that person that you're dealing with, man, she just solid. As a person, she got your back. She did everything she could for you. When you was down, you lost your job. She helped you pay your bills, and this come up. How do you square with that when she's committed to you like that? How do you square? How would you square with that? Either or, just a male
and you
side,
saying,
female side.
And this with her being a hoe, she a hoe, and then she doing all this.
Reformed that. After she's reformed from that, that's her past. She just slept with all these people. That's her past. But she's basically a good woman. She taking care of her business, helping her man. But that's the past she have. And you find that out, but she helped you get to the point where you at. She contributed in your life.
How old was she when she was home?
When she was a young, in her 20s.
How deep in the 20s?
we gonna say she in her mid 20s.
So
when a person, because what I'm getting to, if a person was an asset to you and that person helped you, but she got this past, how do you Jay, how would you deal with it? How would you deal with it if this person got this past? How would you deal with it?
He wouldn't.
Okay. At all.
Well, first, you should find all this out before you get that deep.
Right.
So, I mean, if she's held me down and whatever.
But she was scared. She was scared, Jay. She was scared. She didn't want to lose you. So she held that.
She should have.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we find out, it would be hard.
You married to her. You married to her, Jay, and she tell you after y'all got married.
Bruh, I'm telling you, it's gonna be hard because part of that is deceit.
Right.
So,
okay, if you didn't ask it and she just didn't say it, is it really deceit? If she just didn't say it,
I'm gonna ask.
You didn't have that, you gonna ask. Okay.
So you gonna, and what make you think she gonna tell you the truth? Like when I posted that question, a woman posted, how do you know that person gonna tell the truth?
Well, I mean, if they tell the truth, then we know. If they don't tell the truth, then if it comes out later, then we find out it was deceit.
Right. So, and then you'll just move accordingly based on what you wanted to do, what you're gonna do.
Right. Now, I can't necessarily say that I would leave. I can't honestly say that. But if we're starting out and we're in the beginning of things and I find this out, because everybody has, whatever criteria that they like.
Right.
So, I mean, my body count may be too high for some people.
Right.
And I can understand that.
Right.
So you have a choice to make. And I make my choice at that time based on whatever emotions I'm experiencing.
Right. And then, so Paris, what's up, Paris? Paris Wilson. Past don't matter unless she's shown actions to go back. So what if she's reformed, or this man, Latanya, this man is reformed? Okay, Latanya, this man reformed. He was that guy. He was the one running all the women, and he changed his ways, and he's showing you he changed his ways. How would you deal with that? Because this person that gave you this information that can rock you. Some truths are best left unsaid. But now you caught up this man and did all this for you, and you find out he did this. He slept with men and women. You made it deep then, because I was like, You
A woman really
sleeping
don't
with
care.
men.
A man's past is not really as bad as a woman's
He
past.
struggled in Latanya. He struggled with homosexuality, but he coming out of it, and he tell you, "Hey, I done slept with some men, but I reformed myself." How would you deal with that?
Now, you talking about we're in this relationship or prior to getting
Yeah,
into
you
this
in this
relationship?
relationship. Y'all in this relationship.
Y'all
Y'all
3
married.
years
You
in.
pay bills. Y'all 3-4 years in it. Y'all paying
I'll be
bills,
honest
and
with
it
you.
come out
I
that
gotta be
he,
honest with you. It'll be hard for me knowing that he slept with men because there's
yeah,
too much going on in the world right now.
right,
So
right,
that would I would have to pull away, and that would be a discussion. But more than likely, that'll be a decision that I'd have to make. Because once again, let's talk about it. We independent anyway.
right,
So for something like that, I know I can walk away from it because I'm not going to sleep with nobody that didn't sleep with a man. No, I'm not going
right.
to do that.
Right.
That's just nasty in
So
itself.
everybody got So everybody got their breaking point and deal breaker when it comes to in the deal breaking the relationship. Man, this Instagram,
Most definitely.
Black, we're gonna have to work on the Instagram as far as the feedback because it's the
Yeah. This
experience.
is our first time trying it. Ain't no big
Yeah,
deal. We
yeah,
doing what
yeah,
we do.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
keep it
We
rolling.
hey, hit mute. Hey Jay, I'm thinking if we hit mute, people can't hear us
When we're
on
not
Instagram, huh?
speaking, hit mute.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. But yeah. So yeah,
So
and
like
Latanya
well,
said that. Go ahead,
in
Black.
Nathaniel's case, and I brought that up on when I put the question out there on Facebook. If the guy was a homosexual at one point, and now he says he don't want men no more, he's strictly women. Or what if that woman was a crackhead turning tricks and having sex with different drug dealers and things for a free rock in past matters? Would that be an issue? If she used to be on crack and she was turning tricks, is letting guys sleep with her so she can get that hit. And you find that out later on after you 3-4 years in the relationship, you take her around somebody and they say, "Hey, I used to serve her rocks back in the Gap. Me and my partners used to flip her back in the day." And you in that relationship, how can you deal? Can you deal with that and stay in that relationship, even though this
Right.
was 5 years before you met her and she's supposed to be rejuvenated?
Right.
Will you stay in there?
Right. Hey, we ended on Instagram. Instagram only give us about an hour, Black.
Good. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
Well, we want to thank y'all for me and Black, we gonna sharpen that up and get that going. And we thank everybody for being on.
So
Jay, appreciate you, and Latanya, appreciate you.
Dewey say he seen them change after the age of 35.
Right.
So they was hoeing until they was 35.
Okay.
And then they came, went to church, and now they looking for a good man. After she did all her hoeing, and now she fat and went to church, and now she want a good man.
Right.
And we supposed to be just open arms and just accept this. Oh, okay, come on.
Right. BK Ferry, what's going on? How you doing?
Hello, I had to jump in on that
Okay.
last little statement D Black made
Oh,
when
I'm
he
so
put
sorry.
stipulation.
Oh my God.
No, when you
What
see,
stipulation?
no, you was talking about like what if they was, past crackheads or past lesbian, and I'm gonna say lesbian or gay.
Mm-hmm.
Would it matter? In that situation, the past still shouldn't matter. Whether they're past lesbian, past gay, current gay. If they choose you and they're with you, that's a whole different thing. Now, understand what a lady said, it's too much going around. It's the same as going in vagina, as going in the behind. So, yeah, he went in a man's butt instead of a female's butt. What's the difference? If you're going to forgive them and be with that person, you be with them, and the past don't matter. You can't put stipulations on what in that past matter if it don't matter. Now, if it matters, that's understandable too.
Right. But BK, we're talking about if it's brought up on you. You in the heat. Okay. You
She
with this
say
person.
to BK,
After the fact
it doesn't matter. He can be sucking penis her man could be sucking penis last year, but he said, hey, I don't like sucking penises no more. And it doesn't matter. So she's like, shit, as long as, you know, they love each other, that shouldn't matter if he was sucking a penis last in 2022. It doesn't matter.
It shouldn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
And
It shouldn't matter.
to each his own. And the reason I said because like you say, a guy sticking his thing up another guy, and ain't no telling how many more guys. As for me, after learning that, I could not see having sex with him knowing you've been sleeping with another guy. That's my opinion. Now, other women, they may not. But if we build together, we're 4 years down the line, I found out you putting your thing somewhere else and not just in me. No, I couldn't do that. I could. That's my opinion. I just couldn't.
And that goes back to being deceit, because I feel like deceitive, because if y'all together, that's something that should be, now stuff like that should be disclosed. Hey, because you know, and also stuff like that should be discussed from the beginning. How do you feel about being with a past gay male or a bisexual male? So if you don't like it, then he should not force that on you. So that y'all should have never even clicked up from the beginning, and that should be discussed at the beginning. If not, then that's the.
But we know. I don't know what city you're in,
they love you. Yeah, they love you, BK. He in love with you, BK.
But no, but
yeah.
But let me address
it. Yeah. Go ahead.
The fact that you're in a city, a small city. I don't know what city BK is in, but in a small city, somebody's gonna tell, especially the way the gay guys now be exposing the so-called men that we think are straight. It's like Latanya says, it's a lot going out there, too much going out there, and a lot of the guys are down low now, and they're not gonna tell nobody straight up that I used to be gay. Majority of the time, they're not gonna do that. But then that punk, that the one who they done been with, see them post a picture on social media. And then go to social media and try to destroy that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's done in the light, in the dark comes to the light type thing.
Right.
And a lot of people is not going to expose the dark secrets or what's in their closet to their mate.
Right.
And but with the world, especially if you're in a small town, somebody gonna tell it.
BK,
well, I think there's certain things that you should disclose, and that is one of those things. If you used to be on drugs, then that's something that you should disclose. You don't have to disclose what you had to do for those drugs.
And Jay, you're gonna have to repeat that. Your sound went out.
I'm sorry.
I can hear you. Could you hear me, Jay?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
BK say it shouldn't matter at all.
Right.
No, I mean,
and that's
those things should matter.
Yeah,
right. I didn't catch the last name.
If you messing with them,
I'm about to die real quick. So let me say
with them raw.
Oh, okay. Hey, let because she said she about to fade out. What you was
I'm about to jump off real quick and I'll be right back. But in the beginning of a relationship, they should expose. That's the issue from get-go. Outside of this subject, everything should be exposed. If you're building a life with that person, that means y'all bring everything together: the good, the bad, the ugly. Everything should be exposed.
BK. How many people, seriously, because you sound like you speak from experience, how many people actually do that, though?
Yeah.
They don't, and that's where the problem comes in there. That's the issue. The issue is not the past, the issue is the conversations.
I know guys personally right now that's in full-blown committed relationships, then got married, then had a child, but he's down low, messing with a gay guy. To this day, been married 2 years, but he slips and go and still see that damn gay guy, and the woman has no clue right now.
Well, and so that's an issue. That is a major issue, because number one, you're putting that person's life and health at danger. Right. But if you just want to be with a man, just go be with a man. and stop trying to dip in brown and pink. You know,
those are
Right,
bigger
right.
issues. Society doesn't let them do that all the time.
They don't let
I
them do that.
agree.
And this person is in politics. So,
Exactly. I was going to say the church politics, they
yeah,
can't do
politics
that.
and church.
School
Right,
They can't
teachers,
do that.
Right.
well, I
Right.
mean, that's where the term beard came up, and I forgot what the woman thing is, but
Yeah.
you know, but in
To
today's
hide
society,
to hide
yeah,
that,
but
yeah.
in today's society, I mean, it seems like gay is the thing to be, or
Yeah, but
homosexual is the thing to be.
I'm gonna ask this of BK. BK, I know you've seen the movie Four Color Girls, and
okay.
or you heard of the movie. And the guy, Janet Jackson, and the guy that played Ghost was Janet's husband.
I know. I
And
got about 4%.
yeah, yeah. And you in love with this man. You supported him. You in love with him, and he's struggling with that type of sexuality in his life, though his intentions were hey, no, I don't do that, I'm not into that, but yet he's struggling with his sexuality, and he dip off, and you find that, and you into it, you years into this, and you find
I
out.
have to treat it the same as if he went and cheated with a woman. If it's a true issue, and I truly
Yeah.
believe that he is slipping, it's the same as slipping into the next woman. It's the same thing. And we have to start thinking like that. Stop putting labels on because it's a male, female.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's but the point
You're
I
forgiving,
was
though,
making
right?
that,
You're forgiving, right?
would you forgive him, or would you move on, BK?
Me personally, I'm not forgiving any cheating.
Okay.
Okay. So in a situation where I don't forgive any cheating, then no. Now, if I was a person that was going to accept cheating, because I have been that person in the past, then yes, I've actually been that person with that male, because I made him open enough to feel comfortable enough to give me that information. And that's the other issue. We have to let them know up front. Are we comfortable with that, or are we not? It's just about this conversation is kind of weird, because you still have to go back to like bringing that into the conversation about that we're having now is weird, because that starts at the beginning, and that's deceit. That's not the same as it's not the same.
It's totally different.
So if you dating, let me ask this. So if you dating someone right now, I'm gonna say about 6-7 months in a relationship, and then one of your homegirls who have a brother that's gay see you with him and say, hey, my partner used to mess with him. You will still stay with that guy and forgive his past because that happened 3 months before you met him?
If it was, if we never had that conversation, we never talked about it, and that was something that was never brought up 6 months in, and we're just doing a dating thing, yes.
No, you in a relationship.
Just because he messed relationship, that's just about it. Just a relationship.
Right.
It's not marriage.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, at that point,
so now we see where it's going. We see where it's going. The generation, the way the trend now is, they accept bisexuality, and it's not as frowned upon as it was 10 and 15 years ago.
Right, it's not. Because, and then you have to think about it, 15, 20 years ago, it was still happening. They just didn't know. Wouldn't you feel safer?
No, they didn't know. And so but today, and that's okay because they didn't know. But today you're knowing because you got social media and everybody's telling you he is gay. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that the people are accepting that, you know what I'm saying, because homosexuality is desensitized in the world today because it's glorified through your movies, through your sitcoms, through your series. It's accepted. LGBT, whatever, it's accepted now. So I guess the old school people ain't with it. But I guess the newer breeds that, and then plus with it being a shortage of real men, of straight men, the women have to settle for what they can get. So if he been bisexual and they like him and he laying it down and he's a good person, hell, they just say, hey, they rather have a piece of him than have all or nothing. You know, so maybe that's I'm just trying to find a goddamn
it's not settling. It's about looking at that person for who they are. Your sexuality don't make you who you are.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I said that earlier, just dealing with the 4 colored girls. It was in correlation to how people will hide things, and they can hide up things to the point to where you can get you're married. Yeah, he told you he don't do this, but he's coming into a marriage. No, he's struggling with his sexuality. Now you didn't invested your time with this individual. You in love with him. Your heart is tied up in it. Your soul is tied up with him. And he can't
perform. He can't get up there and lay it down hard with her because he's thinking about being with Richard.
Right, which is the problem. That's the problem. He didn't reveal that to her from the beginning. He should have revealed that from the beginning and gave her that choice.
Right.
The issue there was he didn't give her a choice.
Since he didn't reveal it, she should just stay in it now because she in love.
If it had been a woman, if she would have forgave him for a woman, she have to forgive him for the same thing. It's the same.
Well,
yeah, I don't know, man.
Let's move into
like I think Tanya has said.
That's cool.
So I have been in a relationship, a marriage where I didn't disclose some information, and it caused an issue.
It caused an issue.
Yeah, so I had an older son and middle son, and I didn't say anything about it because we weren't on speaking terms at that particular time. And like
you and the son wasn't on speaking terms, right?
The son and I were not on speaking terms,
right?
Okay.
And again, he's an adult, so I just didn't say anything. But when we reconnected and started to have conversation, to have a father-son type of relationship, me not telling my wife at that time of 4 years, then it caused an issue.
Right.
And you know what? Let me say something on that. I can see why that causes an issue because a child is a child, whether you're not talking to the child or not. I feel like if you're going into a relationship, I have a son, but me and my son are not talking right now. Boom, it's out the way. Because at the end of the day, that is your child. That is your blood.
True.
Regardless if you talk or not, that is something that should be discussed.
Yep.
That child is not going anywhere.
Right.
Yep. And that's what I was saying earlier. That information should be disclosed. And I had to learn that.
That should have, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that's something you don't learn. That's something you should know. That's real.
Well, his child at that time, like you say, the child is grown and he wasn't communicating with him. So,
but it's his child, right?
Being that his wife, he wasn't speaking to the child. They like that he taking care of the child calling for money to watch.
Doesn't have to. If it's your child, it's going to always be your child.
Yeah. So what if it was a question mark, which it was, and then it came out after?
And I would also, and that's fine. I would say, I may have a child out there that I'm not sure if it's mine or not. And then she may even come, let's find out. Since it's a question mark for you, she may just tell you, hey, let's find out. You want to know, right? That's something you want to know. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. It's a child. I'm just talking about children. They're always yours. That is your blood. You laid there and made it. It's not going away.
Yeah, this is true.
Right.
And so that was an error on my part. And
so yes, certain things need to be, and certain things that is going on in someone's life. Some people, when they feel like they've changed and they've done better, and they feel like, I'm not going to say anything to her because I have changed and I want her to know me for who I am, not for who I was. So some people may be holding in that, afraid to talk to this person because they really love this person. They don't want to lose them.
Right.
So I think that's why sometimes people hold information. They don't want to lose because they have changed.
That's true.
But then, if they hold that information and it comes out later, whether a
It
family
makes it
member who
worse.
don't know that that person don't know, a friend around that don't know that that person don't know. And that's what, like y'all say, that's what it turns into deceit. So it's kind of a
Mhm.
lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
Either you
and
get
I'm just
mail
saying
or
what
you
they
just
do.
tell what it is.
Yeah, and I'm just saying if they don't talk about it, that's one of the things that they made. That's the reason they may not be talking about it. Not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying that there could be a
Right.
reason why not.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Jay, so how did so was you able to reconcile that? I understand about the ending of the marriage as far as what came out of that with that
Deceit.
whole deceit. Did something
Well,
positive come out of it, or what happened?
let me say this. That was the first time me ever withholding that information from anyone that I was dealing with.
Right.
But so I called myself trying something different.
Okay.
But so what came out of that situation? It caused additional mistrust. Caused her to feel like, do I really know you? What I did know of you, is now
Are you who you say you
been
are?
yeah, it's been changed because I don't. What else are you hiding? What
Right.
else are
Right.
you just? Or what type of person are you to hold this information from me and not talk to your child for whatever the reason is? Even though I
Right.
have been trying to reach out, they weren't reaching out. They weren't reaching back out. But again, that information still should have been disclosed.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
And
and
that's
then
very, very powerful. Very
yeah,
powerful.
and so then it just continued to be an issue as it went on. She still didn't want me to have anything to do with the child.
Right.
Um, and it just caused some major issues.
Right. So is it fair to say that withholding information, do you think it's better? Let me say it this way. Let me walk it back this way. Do you think it's better to tell the truth to an individual and it hurt, or lie to them and it scar, and
Telling the
they
truth,
find out the truth later?
no,
Meaning that you can
A lot
expound
of
on it, Jay.
women, a lot of women
Because
don't,
it gets
they're not
scarred.
gonna tell the truth. A woman just won't talk about it. It is not a truth a thing. You don't ask, they don't tell. And so they like, well, you didn't ask. So majority of the
yeah,
women not just gonna volunteer information that they're uncomfortable with. If you don't ask, they not gonna tell. And that way they could say they didn't lie to you.
right. The
Right.
thing,
That,
Right.
so
that's how majority
you
of
have to
women
start
operate.
you have to
Right.
start having those hard conversations and hard truths in the beginning of the relationship.
Right.
My
Right.
fiance and I now, I call her my wife, even though we're not married just yet. Um, we sat down and we disclosed everything.
Right. Right. Right.
So it's better to have that openness and truth up front, so you can make the decision if that is something that you want to continue into with that relationship,
Right.
and it prevents issues from happening later.
Right. 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 That's real. Latanya, how do you feel about that? Is it better to hurt now, hurt a person with the truth, or scar them with a lie, and they end up finding out? Is it better for you just to, though it's hard and it could cause the end of your relationship, is it better for them to know the truth, or you just holding it out of fear that you don't want to lose this person?
Know the truth.
Know the truth. Know the truth. Because I think this, as an individual, is devastating. Lies can destroy people. I done seen people and heard of people killing themselves behind a lie. Promises were made, expectations were made, that when I got what I wanted, I just lied to you about some expectations that wasn't true. And I've seen people commit suicide. I've heard of people committing suicide behind a lie, because you're not being honest with an individual. What Wanda said, uh, Miss Harris, it says yes. hurt with truth, because hurt goes away, scars remain forever. That is so true. Because once you find out the truth, then and then they lied to you, it's hard to recover from that. It's hard for a person
Somebody's
to
phone
trust you.
ringing.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm gonna
that's
look at it.
somebody's phone ringing.
Somebody's phone is ringing.
Yeah. So but yeah, so that is so true. Because I don't know what it is about human beings. I guess we fear, some of us fear uh losing people, and we would rather lie to them than tell them the truth, because people are owed that, especially when they love you and care about you. If they ain't no bum and you know they've been good people, that's what they owe, that you tell them the truth, even if it hurts them. You know, a lot of times we don't want to be honest, because we live in a world where people lie to you. You know, that song "Sweet Dreams" by Eurythmics is a real song. You know, some of us we get fed so much, so many lies. When the truth comes, we don't want to hear it sometimes. So it's real. You know, on that particular thing. Um, we're gonna go further with this, man. We want to thank everybody that chimed in. Tommaso, uh, Winona Harris, Paris Wilson, those that was on Instagram, Miss Latanya Odom, BK. Man, we want to thank everybody for chiming in, man. We've been rolling at this thing for about a year and a half now, and we've been rolling strong with it, and we gonna keep pushing with it. So we want to thank everybody for it. We getting close to this time. Um, we want to move towards getting some remarks in, man. Black, do you have anything that you really just wanted the people to know and hit home with? Could he is
At
he
this
froze?
point, at this point on
Okay.
that topic, it's to each his own. But a lot of am I okay? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, everybody can hear
Or
you.
am I froze?
Nah, you good. You good. You
Your
was froze
picture is
for a second.
frozen, but we can hear you.
Yeah, we can
Hold
hear
on,
you.
hold on.
Yeah, so we just want to keep because we don't want you black you back black. Look like you back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
You
okay.
just froze. We can hear you though. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. But yeah,
Hmm.
I was switching from my data to the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But a lot of people, especially like I say, a lot of women, they're not gonna just expose, and a lot of men, if you ask them, they may beat around it. A lot of people just don't open up and tell people the truth, like talking about. You get one or two instances, a few of them where they may just go ahead and just be honest with you. But a lot of people are not going to volunteer information. And if you don't ask, you'll find something out and you'll say, why you didn't tell me such and such when you didn't ask? So
Right.
that's sitting down, like Austin said, and they just let everything out in the open. That's a rare situation. But like Latanya say, it needs to be discussed. So it just depends on that individual and that mate. But I feel like if you open up that door for everyone to speak and they withheld or withhold information, I feel like you need to look at that mate some type of way because, like I say, the fact that they withheld it when it was an open discussion is going to turn into deceit when you find out.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
that's my take on it. So yeah, I feel like when it comes to long-term partnership, marriage, creating children, um, and all that health, you need to know what's going on with your mate. Before you marry them, before you make any long-term commitment, before you guys procreate, I just feel like you need to know how much mental health issues in the family, heart issues, diabetics. I mean, it's just certain things you need to know. So if something happens to that mate and you're stuck raising that child, you know what's going on, what side of the family they got it from. You know, so it's just like you really, if you're gonna be with someone, a life partner, you need to discuss every damn thing, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you can't deal with the ugly and the bad, then y'all need to, work on getting out of that relationship. But it definitely needs to be discussed. That's my take on it. But a lot of people, especially women they've been doing their thing for so long. Oh, the past don't matter. It's not so much as, the past could matter, because if you can't have children because you 30 or 35 and you can't have children, and that man wants children, but you can't have none because you was promiscuous and just laying with everybody and ended up having to get a hysterectomy at 32. And you 35 trying to, all of a sudden you ready to settle down and be with somebody, that man needs to know that, you know what I'm saying, your past, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a catch-22, but a lot of people just say, hey, I'm rejuvenated, so my past don't matter. But on the cool, I think it does matter, because if somebody, that person that you're not telling your past to, can find out your information, and it's gonna either hurt them. And so I don't know, but to each his own. But I just feel like that's a catch-22 situation, man. But yeah, if you're gonna be with them, it's best to go ahead and just discuss it. And a lot of times that need to come, like everybody was saying, that need to be something discussed when y'all first get together. So you can, 6 months in, you should pretty much know everything about that person. And if they holding back and you find out something once you get married, you need to be going to the goddamn contacting you an attorney, filing some damn papers, because that is not going to be a good relationship. But on that note, that's my take on it. What's your last say, Jay?
Well, to each his own on what matters from the past. You're going to be able to deal with what you're going to be able to deal with. But I still feel that if you're in a serious relationship and moving towards marriage, then everything should be disclosed. There should be nothing off the table for discussion. So that the truth, again, will hurt for a moment, but a lie will cause pain forever. So just be honest and open in your talks. Have the hard talk, have the hard cry, whatever's necessary, and move forward from that.
That sounds it. He kind of summed it up. Is Phantom still on here? Or he dipped out.
It looked like he is out of there.
All right, and Tanya, what's your final on that?
Yeah, just tell the truth at the
Just
beginning.
deal with it. Tell the truth. Whatever the truth bring out, a divorce, separation, just tell the truth.
Yep, just don't tell the truth at the beginning.
And that way your conscience is free. I told you couldn't deal with it. It wasn't meant for us to be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel on that. What about you, Austin? I feel on that one. That's real.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Just be open, honest, have that hard talk up front.
So basically saying have a transparent relationship.
Yeah, be transparent, be open. I mean, and throughout the entire relationship, not just at that one portion, throughout the entire relationship, you have to make your mate comfortable with talking to you and knowing that they're not going to be judged for their past or their present. And when they do come to you with something, you know, if it's something that you don't agree with, it may shock you for a second. So you have to step back and then go back into that and say, baby, you know what? I understand what you're saying. I understand that happened, and move on from that point, whatever it is. And you're going to deal with it however you're going to deal with it. But you have to leave room for your spouse to be vulnerable, your spouse or significant other to be vulnerable, open, and understanding. You have to be their safe space, and they have to be your safe space.
That's deep. That's hell. And you learned that in what, counseling, you say?
No. But because I have taken counseling and about to start getting my master's in counseling, then those are some things that I have picked up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, since Phantom off, that concludes the show. And what do you say we finna land this ship? We'd like to thank everybody for joining in. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. So next week, same time, same place. And with that, we out. Appreciate everybody. Tanya, Austin, we out. Look at us. Come on at the end. Get out of here. Crazy.